Hey everyone, this is Erin Ashley Simon.
This is Brandon Killabh Hall.
And of course we got regular Naz here. Not the Nas, regular Nas.
Yeah,
Let's make that separation now.
Yeah, word.
Gotta keep it separate.
The word Nas right now in general is crazy in the streets right now. So we gotta obviously separate the two.
I appreciate it.
Nas with the Z. Let's make it separate.
Word.
But welcome to another episode of Grassroots Podcast. I have a very serious question. Did Kanye West lose his mind?
I don't know, man. That's obviously something we have to talk about today.
Super woke.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that. I wouldn't say that.
So,
I wouldn't
say
say
what?
that. I wouldn't go and say that. But before we jump into that, make some noise for Meek Mill being home, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Meek Mill is home.
Y'all thought I was finished.
When did Meek get all these fans, though?
You know what? And that's what I wanted to touch on with him. This is going to sound crazy, but I don't care. Because the rest of my
Disclaimer.
sentence... Yeah, let me be... Yeah, for the listeners and viewers out there, this episode is going to be all over the place. A lot of opinions are going to be thrown. A lot of dissecting is going to happen on today's episode. Just because last week has been a crazy week. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get into Meek Mill. Pause. You tried it. So
No, I didn't say anything.
I
I was not even saying.
just in case, because
You're the pause. You're the pause master.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't be slipped. I can't.
But
be
what
slipped in
Nas
the
said,
club.
that was wild. That's why I had to say it.
We're not
gonna bring it up.
You ain't
That
gonna bring
was
up
wild.
bullshit.
So, all right.
2 seconds ago.
So Meek is home
Yes.
after a fierce battle with the justice system. He is home. The woman, the judge, did not remove herself from his case, so we obviously know that she still has an out for him. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was interesting when you mentioned Meek Mill fans. There's a lot of support for Meek Mill fans, and I have two theories here. So first one, and this is where I said this is going to sound crazy. I'm low-key happy that he got locked up and all of this happened.
Why is that?
Well,
The mere fact that he's gone through this, he's changed. He's changed as a person. Like his whole demeanor as an artist and as a public figure is changed. He's openly now saying, "Hey, I'm different. I just came home. I can't even sleep. I don't even feel free. I want to help people that have gone through what I've gone through." Mm. So I'm kind of happy that he went through this. I feel like even from a career perspective, all the stuff he's been going through between beefing with Drake, between the Safari incidents, between
Nicki.
the Nicki incidents,
He was
between
speeding. He was speeding.
that's a perfect sentence, word. He was 100% speeding into a brick wall, and the brick wall happened to be just a downward spiral. So I'm happy that this happened to him, and I'm happy that he's now out and free, and I think he has a new lease on life in a sense. But I think that his purpose now, his purpose is changing. His purpose is changing. What do you guys think?
I'm happy that a bunch of people are happy for him, but then I also think that certain people that were backing him and supporting him were just going about it on like the quote unquote selective injustices, like attention to certain injustices, but not all. I mean, perfect person, craft, Patriots owner. You're going to go and support Meek Mill and say all this, but you don't address the injustices that are happening with Colin Kaepernick and certain things that he is bringing to light. It's like it's like selective hearing. You want to go for things that are going to appeal to you more than go for things that are going to make you uncomfortable. Colin Kaepernick makes him uncomfortable, makes all the team owners uncomfortable. Yeah. But Meek Mill, it doesn't touch the money. It doesn't touch anything that could possibly do damage to the NFL. Yeah. So I'm going to be all for it. And and I just like, and for me personally, like I don't like that. Yeah. Like if you are gonna speak up and support one injustice, like, and you're somewhat, even if it's indirectly involved with another, like you should speak up for the other one too. Mm-hmm. But also he's gonna speak up for this because Trump's not gonna tweet about it.
Good point. Now, here's my other thing, which again, I'm gonna get into this. There's gonna be a lot of tying in this episode, right? Mm-hmm. So here's my second part with Meek. I think that a lot of people use Meek as a marketing tool. His story, his plight, his everything. And not saying that it's a bad thing, but a lot of people use the narrative of Meek being locked up and this is my brother and, you know, free him, free Meek. But a lot of those same people wasn't saying that when he was out.
They weren't trying to help him out of the grave when Drake put him down there 6 feet under with the memes.
Drake flamed him.
When Drake was flaming shots at him, and you know he was in a little bit of an uproar. Things were in an uproar.
That's not him. I don't know that cat, man.
Yeah, niggas moved away from him.
I think it's more of a critique on the justice system and people being fed up with the justice system overall, and they clamped on the Meek. Because the dude got locked up the next day. Even though riding dirt bikes is illegal in Manhattan, and he was on, I think, probation or parole for like 10 years?
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. And the long dick of the law, no rainbow, fucked him. You know? And that's what happened. People clamped on to that injustice. And that's the same thing to go back to what you're saying with Colin Kaepernick. That's exactly what he was kneeling about.
Yeah.
That's the injustice he was talking about. So for Robert Kraft and all these other cats that's really not a part of the culture to jump on that, dudes are stupid. I don't like it.
Well, I agree, but I just thought that was interesting to see all of these artists and athletes and just people that were openly like, yo, Meek is a loser, Meek is this, Meek is that. And now
when they replaced his face with the L with his
now Meek is a household name. So I just found that to be a little interesting, but to your point, it could be way deeper than music. It could be just him going through this, him being a black man, and him clearly being, you know, a target of the justice system. So maybe that's what it is. So, but I'm gonna keep a close eye on this because I think that this is interesting.
Also, it could also, I know some people may not like this, but it can also kind of push into the narrative of like, this is like a winning year for Philly. Yeah. It's a winning year for Philadelphia. Ooh. You already have the Eagles. You had Villanova, even though they're kind of like not really in Philly, but people outside are going to still say that's Philly. Yeah. But then like, no, I had to correct it. Villanova is Villanova. That's not.
I was speaking
but outside everyone's gonna consider that Philly, but it's not. But they look at it as that. So you have the Eagles, you have Villanova, and you have the Sixers now, and like their playoff run. Like this is kind of like the height, the new vision of Philadelphia. And I feel like maybe some people, and maybe purposely or intentionally, unintentionally, are trying to continue that narrative and being like, you know, with Meek Mill, I'd be like, you know, there's so much injustices, but like, free Meek Mill, he represents what Philly is. Philly is on a high. Philly is great. And probably certain political people are also pushing that because Philly is in such a high position now, and people are really focusing on the city, and they're like, oh, we don't want to show the shit that we swept under the rug. Like, let's get this fixed. Free Meek Mill. Yeah. So I just think that, like, I think part of it is because of Meek Mill. I think also part of it is because of the injustices, but I also think there's more attention on this because of the year that Philadelphia is having.
Good point. That is an excellent point, which leads me to my next point. I think this is Meek Mill's year. If he does it right and he plays it well, I think this will be his year. Yeah. For outside of music, because we know he's talented. That's never been a question of, yo, can Meek make a record? Can he rap? Can he deliver? We're past that. I think if he really goes on this path of justice and fighting for injustice and making sure that, you know, people never have to go through this again, and then tying it into his overall relaunch into the music industry, because that's what I'm looking at this as. I think this will be a good year for him. So we'll see. I mean, I like this Meek Mill. I was one of the people that openly was not really with Meek Mill in the beginning well, not so much beginning, but during that whole Drake thing, just because from a strategic aspect, like he just wasn't going about it the right way. He wasn't even, just being connected to so many different beefs. There's a way you got to go into beef. Like you can't go and snuff someone and then walk around the corner and not know that maybe they have a whole group of people waiting for you. That's pretty much what he did. So strategically, I was really disappointed in him, but I always thought he was a talented artist. I just think it was a dumb time for him, and I think he's learned from that. So I'm hoping that this new Meek, seeming very humble too, that we'll see a different side. So I'm interested to see where that goes and how that happens.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. So
stay off of Twitter.
Yeah. So
that's what a lot of people should be doing. Just stay off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we talk about that a lot. Social media ain't for everyone.
It'll get you killed.
Just stay off. Like that's it. It's crazy. That's what I do sometimes when things get too crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm getting off of Twitter. Like I'm just like, I'm not even about
everything ain't
this.
for everybody, man.
So, well, everything isn't for everyone clearly because now Bill Cosby's going down the drain.
That transition though.
Pills ain't for everybody, huh?
Yo,
Oh
Bill
my
ain't for
god.
Bill ain't for everyone. My man Worm, he posted something. I thought it was hilarious. He asked the question. He said, "Yo, if Claire Huxtable was defending Bill Cosby, would he have gotten off?"
Yep.
Think so?
Yeah. Shout out to Philly too, Bill Cosby.
Yeah. So for those that are not in the know and are under a rock, Bill Cosby has been found guilty of sexual assault.
He's facing 10 years on each count,
10
right?
years on each count. That's a lot of time, people.
Man,
Yeah, he will not do.
Just I don't know. I know some people are like, oh, put him in jail. It's like, don't waste our taxpayer money. Just like take him somewhere to old people's house and have it guarded and just let him die. Like I'm not don't waste our money on this.
Do we think that because jail is supposed to be the reform place,
He's
quote
80.
unquote reform?
Die.
Are we really breaking Bill Cosby's habits?
No.
Like
he's already done.
What do we and not to say that obviously the family should not be getting justice. That's not what we're saying. I'm just saying we got to do something else. Like something else has to happen.
Should let those ladies punch him in the stomach.
Yeah, like something. Like let's do need to take him out in the back and stone him or some shit.
But they gotta have his vitals. They gotta have everything, the IVs and everything. To be like, all right.
Just like he's 80. He's not taking a gut punch. He is no.
Fam,
for it.
you give him a gut punch, he's coughing up a lung, B.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's all right. That's why we got this stuff that can bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, he might
Word.
shit himself. He might
Have a shitter bag. But it's a sad day, man. Like
Bill Cosby getting punched in the stomach.
that's wild.
Yo, okay, have you guys watched Black Mirror?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, have you seen that one? I don't know if you did, but have you seen the episode where there's this woman, her and her boyfriend abducted this girl, did horrible things to her. So then what they did was they put her into like, it's kind of like it's weird. It's like a reformed like amusement park or some shit.
Is that the Bill Cosby episode or?
No, it was like this black girl, is light-skinned black girl, and her boyfriend, they abducted this black young girl, did horrible stuff to her. So then, like, she's in, like, this little community. But what she's really not understanding is this community is essentially, like, a theme park for, like, criminals. It's really weird. Yeah. And so what they did was they had her relive certain things over and over again. And she would start off with having no memory, looking at photos and, like, going outside and seeing everyone's taking photos and following her. And then it gets to the point where it's, like, she then remembers all the horrible things that she did. And then they shocked her and she forgot. And she relives kind of, like, the worst part over and over and over
horrible.
Again.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's like
up.
the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's like a millennial Twilight Zone.
But do you feel like we would ever get to that point where we would do something like that instead?
I don't know.
Something like extreme to that measure instead of just throwing them in jail, like making them relive things over and over and over again.
I mean, how do you make Bill Cosby relive that? Are you going to give him a pill?
I mean,
well, I mean, he's given out enough pills. So I don't think that's the solution.
I mean, the pills are gonna make him not even remember anything.
Exactly.
So.
I don't think the pill is the solution, but
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. I just don't think that you're changing Bill Cosby. I'm happy that the families have some sort of resolve and you know, they have justice for being victimized for over decades of years. I'm happy about that.
They're recognized
because people need that closure. Do I think that they'll ever have full closure as long as he's alive, even after he dies? Hell no, because you're scarred. You know what I mean? That's a traumatic situation to go through. Nevertheless, my prediction is that Bill Cosby will have a heart attack before he even touches a prison.
Shout out to Camille for that.
He's going to die. There's only but so much you can take at that age. You know what I mean? Like the level of stress, the type of shit that you're being accused of, and then now you're found guilty of. That's a lot. Like he's gonna croak.
Yeah. Who said it? Who said that he should take the Joe Paterno way out and just die?
And just die. You got to.
But I mean, at this point, though, it's just like if he was gonna do that, he might as well have done it before the trial. Because now it's like you're convicted, like that's it, like you're found guilty.
I'm sure he had hope just because the first trial or whatever it was, it was a mistrial. So he's probably like, all right, I'm gonna
he has another
slide
one.
My way right through this one.
This was the second one. He still has another one that he has to do.
Oh, well, that's my point.
That's the crazy thing.
Well,
that's my point.
I mean, he victimized 60+ women.
Yeah. That we know of.
Serial.
That feel comfortable even coming forward. Yeah. So he's got a tough road ahead. He's gonna be in jail because I think he's currently in jail now, but he's gonna be in jail, and then while being in jail, have to do another trial.
Well, he's not going. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's not gonna go. He's not gonna see the inside of a jail. I think he's already locked up. He's out.
Man, they should just do what you guys said. Just let all the women just punch him. That's it. Just let them punch him.
You got to stone him. Just punch him. Let's go back to
the nuts.
Have you ever seen somebody get stoned?
There you go. Punch him in the nuts.
Stoning is a terrible way to go. Oh, my God.
Well, that's my point. How do you learn your lesson until you get hit with a
Kyle said just let them continuously punch him in the nuts.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Whoa, man.
So I don't know. I mean, all that for me personally, it's just it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up Huxtable.
Different world.
You know what I'm saying? Like he that whole situation, Cosby Show, it epitomized black families sticking together and being successful and uplifting and overall positive. And then you out there on set drugging people.
Yo, like you really think about that. He's an American idol, like a legend for over 40, 50 years. This is Bill Cosby, the pudding pops and the clean jokes and him chastising Eddie Murphy about cursing.
Well, but that's our problem, though. I think we have a problem of putting these icons on like godly pedestals. And we have to remember they're humans. Like, there are some fucked up people. Some of our icons have done some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, I started to really understand this once I got into the industry and started hearing stories about certain people actually seeing things. I'm like, wow, like what I thought about you is not what it actually is. And I think that's one of our problems is like we put these celebs up in such a high pedestal and almost make them like they're like mythic god figures that cannot be touched or this is that and the third. Definitely. It's like, no, they're just really good at what they do, but they could be just as messed up as you and I.
Not for nothing, even with all of that, I still appreciate Bill Cosby. Like you can't, and the reason why I say I appreciate him is because you can't take away some of the things that he has done for black people and for, you know, just urban America and at least painting that picture or at least giving you hope that this could exist. You could achieve a certain level of success. But in the same vein, it's kind of like, damn, do I really believe that shit now?
Well, I have a question for you too. So where is the line drawn where you can separate the person from the art or from the craft? Like, I know obviously like most of the time we don't, but like where's that line drawn where we can be able to separate, be like, yeah, he's a horrible human being, but what he did with the Cosby Show did open up lanes. Like where do we draw that line?
I think your actions draw the line. Yeah. Your actions are what people go off of. I'm very big on face value and actions. So if I see you and you say, hey, I'm an honest person, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And I see you do a noble act, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt. The moment that those behaviors change and the moment I feel that you are not who you say you are and you're not moving, you know, now your actions and your words are not matching up. At this point, it's like, ugh. Now you kind of looking funny in the light. I can't hold you.
But does that take away from the Cosby Show and what it did?
I don't think so.
That's kind of like
no,
because those are still important shows, and that image that shows portrayed are still important.
Yeah,
he's a complete scumbag for what he did.
Yeah,
you know. But those shows, without those shows, we don't have so many other shows that followed it.
Definitely,
and he kicked in so many doors.
Yeah,
you know. And it's unfortunate that Bill Cosby, the person, isn't Cliff Huxtable that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
You know,
I really bought into him being Cliff, like even off the show, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I ran track at the Penn Relays. I've seen him in person. Like I've seen what he's done. So for me, I'm like, yo, he's a living legend.
He's Dr. Huxtable.
He's Dr. Huxtable. You know his stand-ups, his everything, what he does for charitable donations, like all of this. I'm like, yo, he's really living this TV show image in person. And then now we have this. So
Skeletons came out the closet.
Yeah, it's just a little it's
finding out
disappointing.
Superman is human, you know.
Yeah.
Question. Speaking about cases like this, was there any update in the Harvey Weinstein stuff?
Nah, they've been quiet about that.
He's next. Oh, he's next. Oh, he's definitely
that's been kind of like low.
The only update I saw was he was asking about I think he put in a motion to get access back to his email that was taken by the government. I'm like, what do you
Trying to go and delete some stuff.
Word. Well, at that point, you can't really delete it because they've already ran through the shit.
They copied it.
My thing is, if I'm him and now it becomes public record that, hey, Harvey's got his email back, you think you're going to get a job offer? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Are you waiting for an application to come in? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why fight for this email? Like, why? I just don't get it. Me personally.
You sitting on top of the world, and now look at you, Harvey. I know he has to be nervous. Bill Cosby got convicted, and it's just like, dog, you're next.
Oh yeah, the doors are closing.
You're next.
It's definitely closing. It's definitely closing, and you know, people like that. It's only but for so long your shit won't catch up to you.
Yeah.
Like it's only but for so long. You could get away with 1 million murders. It'll take that one time for you to leave a strand of hair and it'll come right back.
Well, it's also like dirty laundry. You can continuously put the Febreze on it, but the shit stinks. It's gonna continue to stink until you clean it up.
Agreed. I like Febreze though. I do that.
Shout out to
I like Febreze, but you can't mask all smells.
I know that had nothing to do with anything. I just like Febreze, so wasn't really nothing. I didn't have a point to it. I wasn't trying to corner you, but so.
It's like I like Febreze.
Oh man, now we gotta get into this shit.
This is the fun part.
This is the fun part.
This is like we're at the top of the roller coaster and you're about to just drop.
Yeah, that's a lot going on. So.
They want the old Kanye.
Kanye. Where do we start? Well, first off, his mustache in these pictures with Trump look crazy. Have y'all seen that? He got the half stash that comes down like past your chin but doesn't go under your chin, so you just looking like Mr. T in the face. He looks crazy. I don't know what's happening.
Shout out to the Golden Lords.
Yeah, and then I'm about to say, what is he like? The Yay Lord with the blonde hair, Baby Lords, Junior Lords, Small Lords, Medium Lords. I don't know. All right, so.
Yo, hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man.
I had to get that good laugh out.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking, as you guys say, I'm looking at his photo. I'm dying.
This photo is
now.
crazy. This photo is crazy.
I'm dying right now.
So, all right. I mean, I guess this is the moment of truth. Let's get into Kanye. Do y'all want to go first? Because I'm
gonna wait.
All right, I'm going first. I've been holding this shit in. God damn it.
I'm gonna wait.
I have some theories, people. I have some theories. So, as this whole week has been playing out, I've been just observing. looking at tweets, looking at people that have been engaging in this topic of Kanye, looking at people engaging directly with Kanye, looking at media as a whole. Yes. And then looking at Kanye. So at first, it was apparent that Kanye was selling something. Everyone knows he comes back to Twitter, he starts talking, and all right, we either got music or Yeezy season. That's cool. But then all these tweets came out. All of these tweets that were very abrasive, very scary in a sense. Especially for those Kanye fans, because I am a Kanye fan. I've said this often on this show, and I support Kanye. I do. But then he puts on a Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah.
I have to give Kanye the side eye at this point. I have to. So even with that, though, so I'm going to give y'all my two theories. So first off, he released a record called Ye vs. the People.
Featuring T.I.P.
Featuring Tip. That's important because Tip was openly ridiculing him about him, going against everything that he's fought for and everything that Kanye stands for as far as from a brand, as far as from a person and the impact on just culture rather. So that was important. And then I thought it was interesting to see Tip on the record with him. And then I listened to the record. So we have an easel in the studio, and here were my takeaways, and here are my correlations. Right? So I heard mentions of
goddamn Black Dynamite over there.
Yeah. I heard mentions of. Well, wait. First off, let me make my first correlation. I have on our board here O.J. Simpson. I know that sounds crazy.
Wait. We got to show the board. We got to show the board right now.
But we'll show the board. We can put it up in the fucking thing. They'll see it. I have O.J. Simpson. Did anybody else find it interesting that he named his single Ye vs. the People, hence O.J. Simpson, that whole documentary and the 40 for 40, O.J. vs. the People.
Go ahead, down the mic.
And then...
Preach!
And then it's still tied into the whole Kris Jenner storyline with that family. That doesn't resonate with people? All right, I'll do you one better.
Put them church music on right now.
I'll do you one better.
Teach them, Pastor Brandon.
Hey, listen, I'm taking y'all to church today. Let me be clear. I'll do you one better, right? Even with all of that, a lot of the things that Kanye has been saying is reminiscent of O.J. Simpson. O.J. has made his life and legacy and career on working with Caucasians, white people. He is the same person that then went and said, I am not black, I am just OJ. Do we not see this in Kanye? Do we not see Kanye making a lot of the same, in my opinion, mistakes as OJ? Circling back, because it's important, right? Let's scroll down the list here. So next, I have Kim Kardashian.
Oh wait, I'm gonna jump in for this one.
I'm gonna tag you in with that one. But we have Kim Kardashian, and then we have the Make America Great hat, right? So Kanye in his record, he says he makes a correlation between him being a Crip and shaking the hand of a Blood, right? So that's why on the board I have Bloods and Crips. So that analogy, the way I interpret it was, hey, this is a relationship that normally would never happen, be it him being Kanye and Trump being Trump, and us having a conversation and shaking hands and walking away from that amicably.
The problem with that, with him referencing Bloods and the Crips, is that he doesn't reference, especially with his relationship, the main source of what caused the Bloods and the Crips. Bloods and the Crips, if you know from historical context.
No.
Bloods and the Crips, and originally they were groups created by blacks to defend themselves against police brutality.
Thank you.
So, kind of goes with what Kyle said too when we talked. Kyle's our photographer. He's really dope. Got the hair, crazy and all. But the thing with the Bloods and Crips is like, if you know the historical context, the Bloods and Crips were formed because of the division that was caused through the crack era, but originally they were as one. They were actually groups that were cohesive to fight against police brutality, which was the original issue, but it was diverted into something else because of the emergence of these new drugs within these established communities, especially with Compton. Compton used to be actually a community that had a lot of white people in the 40s, but of course the white plight or the white flight, they left. So my thing is like going what Kyle says, I see what Kanye is trying to address, but during the whole thing, even with his song, he doesn't address the main problem that caused all this. He's already on step 20 when he didn't even acknowledge step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc.
And so
she just went in.
Can I tell you that I love you? The mere fact I was going with that as my history fact today. Yeah. That's why this podcast exists, you motherfuckers, because we're in tune. All right? Now, so with that brief history lesson on Bloods and Crips, that is a complete contradictory of what Kanye, quote unquote, is trying to accomplish, right? Let's dig a little bit deeper. So now fast forwarding on my list. I'm serious.
Yeah, you should have made like a pyramid.
I should have just had mad lines.
I should have. Y'all thought I was crazy. For the viewers and listeners, they all thought I was crazy when I came in here because I just started throwing in, Bloods and Crips, Simpsons. And they were like, Brandon, what are you doing? Not knowing that I had this shit mapped.
Wait, whoa, not all of us.
Well,
I didn't comment.
Well,
I was commenting just about structurally.
There was a few people in here that was skeptical. Nevertheless, let's keep it moving. That's what you're here for. You want to hear us talk about this. So we're talking about it. So fast forwarding.
Yeah.
I hear mentions in the record of him talking about it being possible for him to be in an office if Trump made it. And then he chuckles. He chuckles after it when he says this bar. And I thought that was interesting because I thought you would have gotten that inspiration from Obama, that it was possible. Why do you need solidification from Trump to know that you can make it in the office or make it to the office?
Is he saying that Trump is an entertainer also, like him?
Well, yeah, but even outside of that,
Reagan was the first entertainer.
Yeah, when you think about
president,
it.
So.
But why do you get inspiration from him? And then the Make America Great hat is so important with him wearing it, and then what he says with it. He says, I'm leading with love. I wore the Make America Great hat again to show people that you can respect someone for their political views and still have your own. I am taking the Make America Great hat and I'm changing what it means and reforming it. And then takes me to my point of Amber Rose, because she's on my board too.
Wait, before we go there though, what I feel like he's trying to do is like, you know how like before the civil rights we had leaders. During this time, right, we don't really have quote unquote leader per se. I feel like to a certain extent, he's trying to embody the peaceful love side, compassionate side of Martin Luther King.
But wait, don't go there yet.
I'm already there.
Don't go there yet.
I'm already there.
Because I'm going to tag you in, because in this next part, that's when you're going to jump right back in. That's when you're going to jump in.
Son.
So hold on.
I'm here.
Let me finish my
foot is already off. My foot is already off the steps.
You got to stand for it.
My foot's already off the steps.
I'm making sure my easel is on, so I'm going back, right? So check this out, right? I have one more point here. I put Amber Rose on the board, right? Because this is also reminiscent of Amber Rose trying to brand women shaming and slut shaming and naming it Slut Walk. This is a classic case of trying to rebrand something and take hold of something, but being executed poorly. I get what Kanye is trying to say. I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, hey, let's really make America great again, but in our own way. I can have an open, objective conversation with Trump, and still have the best intentions for Americans. not realizing the impact that he's making on Americans by him even associating himself with Trump or aligning himself with Trump. And then my last point is that I know that T.I., John Legend, Ebro, Charlemagne, and Chance, and especially Chance, because he's already made his recant, they all were in line with him. And then slowly but surely, they all started to get low, except for Ebro.
Well, John Legend, he texts like, bro, like, yo.
But that's my point. But then after that, a picture surfaced of them hanging out together.
Yeah, him playing the piano.
If it's your friend, you're gonna check your friend. But there's only so much that you can do. Like,
I know. I'm rolling with you. Ebro.
I got it. Let me finish.
Ebro went on the morning show and did a whole segment on Kanye, how he's lost his mind, how he is abusing the culture, and how him out of all people should not be doing this. And then text messages surface of Ebro asking to be flown out. Then we have Charlemagne. Now, I'll give Charlemagne a pass only just because all of the interviews that he had done with Kanye was prior to those tweets and text messages. So we'll put Charlemagne on ice. But Chance the Rapper is interesting. Why is Chance the Rapper interesting? Is because he is the same person that was backed by Obama. He was brought into the White House, my nigga. He was brought in to sing and to dance and have a family gathering at the White House with Obama. And then you go inside with Kanye almost in favor of Trump. And then you see the backlash come, and then you double back and then say, oh, I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I want to apologize to my fans and supporters. And this is when we go to Kim Kardashian, and I'm going to tag in my good friend, Erin.
All right. So what I was trying to say before is I think Kanye is trying to step into that leader role when it comes to black people, but he's not going about it the right way. What I see him trying to do is the third person you can change. I think you could probably change someone else, but I feel like he's trying to embody the love and peace and the compassionate capacity of how Martin Luther King was, the radicalism of a Malcolm X, and the eloquency of a James Baldwin. In a sense. I'm not saying that like he's doing it the right way.
Right.
But I feel like he's in a way trying to embody these different leaders into one entity or one individual.
Speak on it.
Kanye.
Just say what you want to say.
Kanye, we don't need leaders.
Yeah, we're not holding no punches in this episode. Yeah. I need to hear what y'all think.
Yeah. I'm not saying
I need to know what side of the line y'all fence y'all on. Because I ain't wearing my Yeezys today.
Well, no,
you're already part of the problem.
But before you get there, I feel like, it kind of goes back to the whole like prophecy. Like, I'm a prophet. It's like he's trying to take that role, but I don't think he's going about the right way. Because there's a tweet that I retweeted. For some, before I get there, generalizing is like the worst thing you can do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Generalizing on both sides, worst thing you can do. Like I tweeted basically joking, saying this whole incident feels like a VH1 reality show, and some guy came into my mention saying I was race biting. I got him the fuck out of there. I'm like, yo, what? Are you kidding me? Because other black people, that got me mad. But the thing with this situation is that not every black person is a Democrat. And there are black people that know that the Democratic side has not done right by us entirely. We know that. I think the problem, he don't understand that it's not a Republican versus Democrat thing. It is a bigotry, divisive, hatred, propaganda that Trump started in order to get into presidency. And it opened up a whole floodgate where now we're seeing people or areas, or even certain individuals that weren't showing their bigotry, now feeling it's okay to be hatred, like to have hatred like that. That's the thing. I don't think making this a Democrat Republican thing. First of all, politics is always going to be polarized. The same way the discussion about abortion is always going to be polarized. There's rarely going to be an in-between area. But when it came to other candidates, especially Republican candidates, there are people, and especially there are black people that did listen to other people like Mitt Romney and other ones. Even I did. I'm okay with listening to both sides. But the reason why everyone, and it's not just black people, because even my friends who are white and Republicans do not agree with what Trump's doing. What he's doing is not politics. It's in the same capacity of what a Hitler has done. That's what he's doing. And that's why people have problems with what he said. You're continuing to feed into this hatred narrative that is causing more division within our country. You can't sit here and tell us and say like, okay, black people, this is what you're doing wrong. Cool, that's fine. But you can't sit there and say that but not like address the elephant in the room. You can't be like, this is where we need to go, but you're not addressing the fact that this individual who's your friend has caused this climate to happen. The one thing that Trump did do, he didn't cause the racist people to be more racist. He caused the closeted racists to openly show the racism. And that's why, like, when it came to videos and stuff like that, people are like, oh, racism's getting bigger, there's more. No, it's just being shown more. That's the difference.
And
that was always around there.
The point of this, ladies and gentlemen, is that we don't care about Kanye's political views.
Yeah, I don't care if he's Republican or Democrat.
I could give two shits. It's the person you chose to align yourself with.
And if
you
he's your
went
friend
and put on a fucking dunce cap.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You put on a dunce cap and went to the worst possible person you could go to align yourself with to get your point across of trying to change America.
And if he's your friend, you should be checking him the same way you check everybody else. You can't pick and choose. If my homeboy was the president, was acting fucking crazy, I'd be like, dog, I love you as a person, but the shit you're doing is not okay.
Donald Trump is 70 years old.
Yeah, they're friends.
They're not friends.
They're not friends.
And if Kanye wanted to ignite a conversation, I think he's done it very successfully. And I think he picked the right person in T.I. because T.I. makes that same point in the song. It's not a Republican or Democrat issue. I don't care what side you're on. He said exactly that. Look who you aligned yourself with.
But even with all of that, not to cut you off, even with the record, I have a problem with the record.
Why?
For the simple fact that dialogue does not need to go on record for it to be important. Like, that conversation is already happening off of a record. It's apparent of what's happening. T.I. being on that record doesn't help me. In fact, I'm looking at T.I. kind of crazy because T.I., you, for me, are one of the figures that I rely on to keep fucking integrity. Why are you on a record with Kanye giving the hypothetical back and forth lyrical display when we don't need that? We need you to just check him. I'd rather you check him off record.
What a quote Cameron from a couple of years ago, when he got stopped by the cops in the airport, he said, "Sir, hip hop is the WWE." I think this is a masterful plan that Kanye put together. To get T.I. in it, because now you got T.I. on Twitter going at Kanye, but you're also on the record. So how angry are you really at him?
Which is my point. Which is my point.
So this is a beautiful construct by Kanye. Granted, I would never associate with Donald Trump, but I don't know what he's thinking.
So I'm going to bring you to my point of what Kanye is thinking. This is just my theory. Independent thought alone. Yeah. Kanye is showing you. I said Kanye. That's how I'm fucking mad. Kanye is showing you that he can manipulate media. He's showing you he can manipulate people. And then he's showing you he can manipulate the government.
Just as Donald Trump did?
Just as he did and got Donald Trump to fucking thank him publicly via Twitter and thank Chance and thank all these people. Kanye is pretty much showing you, hey, I can manipulate you. The same way I put out that troll record and all of y'all ran to my website to listen to Skibbity Bebop boop and all this other bullshit. I can manipulate you guys. He was trolling. He was trolling. He's showing you, hey, I'm manipulating you all based off of your emotions.
Yep.
Put emotions aside and then dissect what I'm doing.
But the problem...
Done masterfully.
Yeah.
No, what he's...
Applaud that Negro.
Yeah.
Well, what he did was very smart. What he did was very smart, but then it goes back to even the House Sway situation. you are at this point, but you don't address anything else in between. And when Sway was like, great, asking him to expand on it, and he got shook and was like, how, Sway? How? Like, this is the thing with Kanye. Kanye thinks ahead, and he gets to a certain point ahead, but he doesn't address or directly gets involved in the in-between parts.
100%.
And saying like, okay, for us to get to love and get to compassion, this is what we need to do. He's skipping steps. As a matter of fact, he's
100%.
jumping, he's leaping.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, one, you're not going to get people to understand by doing that. And two, that's great. You can tell people all the solutions. You can manipulate people all you want, whatever. But if you don't know how to go from point A to point C, like, your point is going to be lost. Your message is going to be lost, and it's going to come off across a certain way. And if you are going to do something like this, what he did is smart. And like I said, I understand certain things he said, but you also are not paying attention to what
crowd,
people are really
the audience.
mad about.
Yeah.
You're saying this is a Republican versus Democrat thing? No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not a Republican versus Democrat thing. To generalize and to say that all black people are Democrats, that's not true. I know some who are moderate, independent, and also who are Republicans. But when it gets to a certain point where your own party, your own GOP party, and have people in there that are not for him and are saying what he's doing is fucked up, and even people who are formerly with the FBI and other people are saying what he's doing is messed up, you have to address that.
Agreed.
You can't just say, oh, it's because y'all your emotions and black people, y'all just keep holding yourselves back.
Why are the
you need
emotions
love.
high? Yeah, like why
are the
people in
emotions high?
uproar?
Why are people feeling
It's
this
because
way?
it's hitting a ceiling. The ceiling being Trump and doing certain things, and then you go and align yourself with it. So that is our letter to Kanye. That's our letter.
Is that the ceiling?
That is our letter. We don't give a fuck about your political views. We don't care about what side of the fence you're on. We care that you align yourself with people that you aren't affecting us now currently.
But it took Trump to get us there. Is that what?
No, that's the tip of the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg.
That's the ceiling.
Yeah. That's what that is. It's taking the worst possible person that you could take that is driving the ship and aligning yourself with him.
I mean,
How
think about it.
do you think Donda would feel as mom? How do you think Donda would feel seeing her son
I don't think he wouldn't do it if she was.
I don't think he would be doing
on camera with a "Make America Great" hat on?
He wouldn't have got that far.
Yeah.
She
You know
would have
what I mean?
checked. She would have checked him 6 years ago. And I think I think he's going through depression.
Well, let's go back to the segue point of Kim Kardashian.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay, so interestingly enough, like obviously you guys saw that one tweet where she basically like checked him, was just like, okay, you got to correct yourself a little bit with this. And I understand that like a lot of people are saying like, oh, like a man needs, what does Snoop say? Like there's a difference between Jay-Z and Kanye based on the influence of the wife and the woman. I do agree to a certain extent, but you also have to look at the kinds of women that Kim is versus Beyonce.
Yeah.
I don't think Beyonce is as submissive to Jay-Z as Kim is to Kanye. I don't think Kanye is the type of individual who will marry someone who's going to challenge him constantly and challenge things that he says and does constantly. I just don't think that's the case. Now, it does go back to the whole purpose of a wife. A wife is supposed to support you through good and bad. Worse, better, all that. However, the thing though is like, what I don't like for this situation is that now certain people are putting blame on Kim.
Yeah.
Which
for
is not
this.
it's not her fault at all.
But that's the thing. She may be his wife, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can say to someone. Now, we're just taking the other stuff aside. The other stuff she does and that family does. Like, we're just putting that aside. We're just focusing on this. I think that it's not fair for her to get the backlash when we see that even Kanye said that she reached out and told him like, yo, you need to correct yourself. But like a woman and even a man when it comes to a woman, you can only do so much. An individual, and especially an individual like Kanye, they're going to do whatever they want to do at the end of the day.
I don't think Kim is as submissive as you think.
Well, no, I'm not saying she is super submissive in the point of like, I'm going to do whatever Kanye does.
Right.
But I personally think that she's a little more submissive than Beyonce is in their relationship.
I don't know. I think Beyonce, she plays her role good, and she's her own woman, and she brought something different to the table. She's an entertainer. Kim didn't really. They're two different roles. They're two different women. And I think that Beyonce, I think she plays her role as a wife, and I don't think she really challenges Hov like that.
I think she does, and I think
she does.
just listening to a lot of Hov's narratives, especially on Letterman. That Letterman interview on Netflix was amazing.
Right.
The interview with Rap Radar, talking about some of those, obviously those situations that happen with infidelity.
And she was too calm and collected that elevator.
But her father said that's her.
Yeah, but even outside of all that, you can hear, and he often says how much she's changed him. She's changed the way he approaches things, like how he is a better person because of her forgiveness and how he looks at things differently. I've yet to hear that.
Have you seen them videos too with Destiny's Childs?
Yeah.
Yo, Beyonce, she is sharp. She's like, nah. Like, just go look at some of the videos with her and Destiny's Childs, and like.
But she's been thugging them since the beginning when she kicked out LaToya. And what's the other one?
There was two others.
original.
They left. There was two originals that left. Then two more came.
Yeah.
And then she got rid of them real quick. She got rid of everybody. But with that being said, Kim gave Kanye 3 children, and I think her family has a great influence over Kanye.
Oh yeah,
because that's what he longed for after he missed his.
I agree.
He longed for family.
Yeah, after his mother died and his parents, he's a child of divorce.
Well, yeah. Then we saw the picture earlier that he's and again, I'm not believing anything until it's out now because I see through all of the weeds here. Mm-hmm. But then he's saying he's going to make it the album cover, the doctor that killed his mom.
Yeah, he's not over her death yet.
So that is very telling too.
I just think, yeah.
I don't think that Kanye will ever be Kanye again.
No, he lost it. He lost a part of it when his mom died.
Donda West was that was his best friend.
Yeah.
You can think about it, she helped him move from Chicago to New York.
Yeah.
And she helped him move in.
Was his manager the whole time.
Now, you said Kris Jenner was in the back when he was spitting his freestyle. Mm-hmm. That shows you how much the Kardashians are actually, for all the negative people say about them, that family sticks together.
Oh,
yeah, they do. They definitely do.
That family is like, they hold each other down for real.
Do. I'll never say anything about that, aside from what they do from a business perspective.
Certain things.
Yeah, certain things. I don't.
Questionable. Questionable.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a few questionable things, but overall, they got each other's back.
No, no one. And like I said, in this situation, I'm not bashing her in this situation. I just saw people bashing her. I'm like, that's not fair.
No.
And also, like, and even some people were raised as wives to be more submissive and there as a supportive role, but allowing the man to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything bad about that. I'm just saying that there's a difference between upbringings, and Beyonce, when they did a comparison, Beyonce could be less submissive than per se Kim.
Agreed.
But being submissive in the sense of like allowing your man to do what he wants to do doesn't necessarily mean that you're not there checking him. I'm not saying she's fully. I just said she's less than what per se Beyonce is.
You think Kim would I'm sorry to cut you off, but real quick, this just popped in my head. You think Kim would have let Khloe or Courtney attack Kanye the way she let Solange attack Hov in the elevator?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Yeah, I do. I
don't see it.
I do.
And end up on their show.
And the person I have doing it is either Khloe or
Kylie.
No, not the younger ones. What's the other one? I don't know.
Courtney.
Kendall, Courtney.
Courtney.
Okay.
Courtney's the oldest.
I have one of them two doing it.
I see Khloe definitely.
I see it. Chloe
Chloe's doing that.
But I don't think Kim will let her do it. I don't think
that she would have. I don't think that she would be able to stop it.
Khloe
is 6'5".
Shout out to Frankenberry.
I'm just keeping it a buck. Khloe, that's a big woman.
Shout out to Frankenberry.
Yeah. Shout out to her. She's a big woman.
I think like if it was gonna happen, you know that Kris Jenner will come in and be like, okay, how can we turn this into something that's profitable?
Yeah.
Or how can we turn the situation to like something that we can get benefit out of instead of like a TMZ or something like that?
And that's where her genius lies. /psycho lies.
I mean, yeah, she did that with the freaking porn video. She's like, well, this shit's out.
And they should give
we might as well make money from it.
They should give Ray J a royalty check every month. because without him, that family is not where they are.
I'm not even rolling up with that.
Well,
What?
but before that, she was like an assistant to Paris.
Yeah,
But
like,
she worked for Ray J.
That's all that.
No,
all
I
that's
know.
fine.
No, but
All
she
that's
came.
fine.
Like people started to know who she was through Paris. Because remember, Paris Hilton at that time had those TV shows.
Correct. And even outside of all of that, you have to look into Kris Jenner's business savvy. That woman is a savvy businesswoman.
Yeah, like how many people can turn
savvy.
porn videos into a multi-million dollar dynasty?
She's
Chris.
savvy. Okay?
Yeah,
she's
but
no dummy.
no one else,
She's
really.
no dummy. But that's my point.
Our Brittany, our camera girl said, "Look who her husband was."
Yeah.
Rob
so I
Kardashian.
mean, which is my point.
Hold on, Rob or Bruce?
Rob. So,
The
but
lawyer.
and this is to close the Kanye thing. This was another thing I thought was it's just an observation, and I don't have any grand plot for this one. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Did you notice that a lot of Kanye's rants started, especially per Yeezy season, the moment that Drake rumors started to appear online that he may be going to Adidas?
Timing is everything.
I've been doing a lot of research on this one.
Applaud that man.
Timing is everything.
Applaud-
Timing is everything.
It's the WWE out there in the hip hop culture.
There's been a lot of things coming out, and
yeah.
now I'm seeing less Jordan brand on Drake and more Adidas. So I think also strategically, that was Kanye's way of saying, slow down, fam, slow it the fuck down. Let me go ahead and let y'all know who's running this shit.
He said he made more money than Jordan off his shoes too.
Yeah, I'm not rolling with that.
yeah.
I'm not rolling with that. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
gotta-
rolling with that. That's Kanye. That's Kanye just talking.
We gotta hold off.
That's
a little
Kanye
bit
just
of that
talking.
one. But I just want to end off by saying that like what he's doing, if it was in a different way, it's smart. What he's doing is smart. And like we all said, for anyone who's listening, we understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's just he's not filling in the blanks.
Yeah, he's not giving you the fucking ingredients as to what he's talking about.
He literally just
giving you the bits and pieces.
He's like, here's a souffle. It's the greatest souffle of your life.
And I bought it for 69 cents. I bought that shit today.
And it's like, where'd you get it though? What's in it?
I have not.
Am I allergic to the ingredients in it?
Yeah, like he's not giving you anything.
No one
So,
cares if you're Republican,
got it.
Kanye. We just don't want you
we see,
adding
we-
into the
yeah,
extra
we,
hatred that's
we
going
see
on.
through all this bullshit. Just knock it off, man. That's all I'm saying. Just knock it off.
Speaking of knocking off,
Wait,
That's a
whoa.
horrible
Wait,
trigger.
that
God.
transition was just...
Yo,
Oh, my gosh.
Note to self: Regular Naz should never transition a topic ever again. How do you
All
get
right.
knocking off on? Oh my god!
All right.
Janelle
When it-
Monae. Janelle Monae. Janelle Monae, man. Let's just go right to it. 'Cause
we got there.
When it comes to switching sides.
word, yeah. Like, this fucking guy's the worst.
We got there.
Nah, we're joking. She ain't switched sides. She probably was like this all the time.
Yeah, well, Janelle Monae just came out and said that she is pansexual.
All right, before we get into it, let's get the definitions correct.
Please help
Let's get
me.
the definitions. All right, you ready?
Word, because I was being misogynistic earlier.
Pansexuality. Pansexuality or omnisexuality.
Wait,
is-
there's an omni?
It's the same. It's just the same.
This section
Omnis-
is deep.
Pansexuality
Wow.
or omnisexuality.
Who knew?
Yeah, I can't even get
Sorry.
Wow.
Shut
All
up.
right.
Shut up.
Pansexuality or omnisexuality is the sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction towards people regardless of their sex or gender identity. Pansexual people may refer to themselves as gender blind, asserting that gender and sex are not determining factors in their romantic or sexual attraction to others. They could be considered a sexual orientation in its own right, or a branch off of bisexuality to indicate an alternative sexual identity. Because pansexual people are open to relationships with people who do not identify as strictly men or women, and pansexuality therefore rejects the gender binary.
There's a lot of stipulations to be pansexual.
Just say, yo, I'm sexual. I'm
Word.
Oh my God.
if I like you, I like you.
Yeah, I'm just, or you could just put "I'm with the shits." Like you could really just say that. Like fuck
I'm
all
with the
the
shits.
I'm with the shits. Like Think about that. That's a long definition for pansexual.
Wait, so then what is the different? Okay, hold on. Because
That's what it is.
But then also we saw Kehlani come out basically saying she's queer and that it seems like she's. It came across that she was open.
Oh my
isn't that
gosh.
isn't that similar, or how is that different?
Yeah, how is that different? I don't understand.
I know it's a curious question. I'm
Just
let me
say
look this up.
I'm sexual.
And I'm happy for Kehlani finally being comfortable to say that. I applaud people that are in the closet and are afraid to be themselves.
I found it. Queer, a term people often use to express fluid identities and orientation, often used interchangeably with LGBTQ. So is that them? So is that more so them identifying with themselves and not what they like? So I'm guessing like pansexuality is like what you're attracted to, and queer is just what you identify for yourself. It's more fluid. Like you could be. Wait. So how does that? And I'm not trying to say it's offensive way. So then, like, if it's fluid within like what you identify, does that mean that within time you can identify with more than one sexuality, or is that like?
I think you're open. You're open.
You're sexual.
No. But pansexuality is the openness to being sexually attracted. Queer itself is more so saying that like there's a fluidity within what you identify yourself as.
Correct. There's a big difference there.
What?
So queer is the identification for yourself. Pansexuality is the attraction, emotional,
outward. Think
like
outward. Pansexual. Pan is out.
Based on what
Are these motherfuckers sleeping with two different genders? Both of them, right?
Pan could.
Queer and pan, right?
No. But queer is not. Queer is what you identify with yourself. Fluidity of identification with yourself.
So one day I'm straight, one day I'm gay.
One day you might feel like a dude, one day you might feel like a woman.
If you like having sex, just say I like having sex.
Well, I don't know.
If you like having sex, just say like I like having sex.
I don't know.
But I'm just reading based off what Human Rights Campaign identified as queer.
We're gonna get so many comments.
Well, that's what I said. We just need to label it. She's with the shits.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like yo, fam.
With the shits. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
They're the life of the party.
Now,
1 minute you're kissing someone, next minute you're kissing someone else. I'm with it. I'm with it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Yo, we need to make a shirt. I'm with the shits.
Yeah, I'm with the shits.
And have it be rainbow and just I'm with the shits.
Me personally, I support people.
It's allies, straight allies.
Yeah.
It can be for gay people, it's for everyone.
I support people that are with the shits because it's one of those things where you never know what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z talked about that with his mom. He was so happy for her to be able to finally come out and say, I'm gay.
Yeah.
People need to be themselves. And I say this often. And the reason why I'm so accepting of homosexuality, not for myself, obviously, but just for people.
Sure.
I'm saying,
Shut up, Nas.
All right.
Chill, Nas.
But no, all jokes aside, the reason why I'm so accepting of it is because I don't look at it any different from racism.
Question, though. This is a serious question. Do you feel like entertainment is going to utilize eventually, because I'm sure more people are going to come out as pansexual. Do you feel like entertainment is going to utilize pansexuality in the same manner as they did with bisexuality?
100%.
Because when certain people started coming out with being bi, we all of a sudden are now starting to see like more relationships, more shows. But to the point where for example, when it comes to bisexuality, there's a misinterpretation that it means 50-50. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. It just means that you're emotionally and sexually attracted to both. You could be dating men all your life and still be bisexual and never date a woman. But
definitely.
And I'm wondering, like, is this sexuality going to be kind of exploited? Do you feel like it's going to be exploited soon within media?
It will
entertainment?
Be. Number one, when you think about entertainment, movies and things, a lot of that industry is made up of gay folks. Right, so it's one of the things where it's their time to be able to express themselves, and of course, given the opportunity to be able to express it on the big screen and to bring awareness to it, why not? I think it's smart. Me personally, you know what I'm saying. I just think it if I have the platform to be able to bring light or shed light to a new term called pansexual and make a movie out of it, why not? People like movies, people like, to view things. So
I mean, in terms of what I mean by exploiting, it's
You mean negatively exploiting?
Yeah, because like for example,
Well, yeah, that's gonna come.
Because like we see shows where there's like a woman and she's dating a man, then all of a sudden she's dating a woman, then she's dating a man, and it's just like, oh, some people could interpret it as like, oh, bisexual people are promiscuous and like all that stuff, and that's just what I'm saying. It's just having like.
I get what you're saying.
Like exploiting it in that nature, because exploiting it more so on like the hypersexualized or the sexualized aspect of it.
Yeah.
That they,
That's what they're going to do.
They're definitely going to do that. I think
Hollywood.
anything
That's
gets
what they do.
exploited. Anything you could think of.
But
gets
how soon do you
exploited.
think they're going to do it for
They've
this
been
one?
doing it though.
Well,
I think.
they've already kind of been doing it. You can't name me one show where there isn't a gay relationship happening on the show. You can't name me one person that is.
Well, no, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's gay. That's lesbian. They've been doing that.
Yeah.
Then it came to bisexuality. Now there's shows where there's like a girl and but now it's like, okay, it's pansexuality, where it's you're with the shits.
Yeah.
For everyone. So my thing is like, how soon do you think that they're gonna start to exploit it? And when I say that, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I just have noticed that within media, when it comes to sexual orientations, there still have been certain negative, I guess, showing of these sexualities in a certain extent. Same way that like with different ethnicities, they have been shown in a different light or in a negative light or a negative stereotype within media. How soon do we see that happening when it comes to pansexuality? Do we see that in like this year, 5 years, 10 years? Like how soon do you think that they're going to start doing that?
Next month.
Yeah, like
Next month.
I got it roughly in a year or so. I think you'll start to see because again, more people are becoming more comfortable with their sexualities. So I think the more that they become comfortable, the more you'll see more people coming out, and then the more you'll start to see content start to come out that is going to convey these messages. So
Yeah.
shout out
For
to
good and
Janelle
for
Monae.
worse.
That's great. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for everyone that can be themselves. That's the illest shit ever. People struggle every day just to be themselves. So, and that's what I was saying before about racism. I feel like if I hate you for your sexuality, what's the difference between that versus me hating you for your creed or your color or whatever? There's no difference.
And
At least that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? I
It
can't
also
speak for everybody
shows the
else.
Kinsey scale appears more right than what people think.
Yeah.
So when it comes to sexuality, it's not always black and white. There's gray areas in between.
And then there's
Just
with the shits.
Kids use protection out
shits.
there, right?
This guy.
Oh my God, this
guy.
dude.
Herpes is real.
Well, that's true.
Gonorrhea is real.
Yeah. You got cleared, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How about you?
You took the pill?
How about you? I'm good.
I don't know. That's fine.
I'm good.
Well, he's been off on the scene, so he's definitely good.
Yeah. So,
I'm good.
what a great episode today. I'm happy I got all this off my chest. I haven't been able to tweet. That's the one thing about media. You can't tweet when it's happening
Well,
live because we have a show, and I was happy to get this off my chest.
Yeah, I definitely was. I held it in too. I barely. I had to get off of Twitter. I was like, let me not tweet anything.
I deleted. I posted 2 tweets, and I was like, let me stop, and I deleted them. I was like, fuck.
Let's save these thoughts
Yeah,
for
let
the
me just save my
podcast.
thoughts. I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't answer any phone calls. I wanted to just vent with my friends and family here. That's what I wanted.
I dig it.
So I'm happy I got this off my chest.
Oh man. So yeah, for those who are watching, let us know what you guys think about the Kanye thing. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's interesting because I remember I put a poll out for us that said like, do you feel like Kanye's crazy or is there a reason for this? And I think most of them said there's a reason for it.
There's a reason.
It was pretty close. It was pretty close to crazy, but
Yeah,
you could be crazy and have a reason too.
definitely.
So yeah, just let us know what you guys think about Kanye. Leave it in the comments. What do you think ultimately he's trying to do? Do you understand his message? Do you think he's going about it the right way? Are you still a Kanye fan? Tune back in the next episode of Grassroots
Word.
Podcast. I was kidding.
I was feeling you. I just
got into it.
Go ahead, go with it.
too.
I got into the mood. I got into the mood. But yeah, we're so happy for you guys for watching. My name is Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Brandon Killabh.
I'm regular Nas.
And
Regular ass sign off, man. Fuck out of here.
wait, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Grassroots Pod, Grassroots Podcast for YouTube and for SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And just if you're with the shits, not that shits, but if you're with us with the shits,
Yeah.
tune in.
Tune in. And we out.
Bye.
Grassroots.